Well, welcome and good morning, boys and girls, kids and campers. It's Monday. Oh, yeah. And it's Coffee with Cancer. Welcome to Cynthia, who was first in the chat this morning, but not first to say first. Tommy. And Plugs for Days, who says, stop complaining. Stop with the freezing. Kids in Africa are starving. Well, listen here. They might be starving, but they aren't freezing. So take that. It is warming up here. It was really cold last night. I tell you what, I had to I had to get up in the middle of the night. It was not pleasant. Um, let's see what I've got for an affirmation for today. Um, I don't know about that one. Let's see one. All right. So this morning's affirmation is, I forgive to stop the negative karmic cycle in my life. Well, hey, Tommy, yours says first on the screen. Let me go look at that and see. No, I see Cynthia first, and you're the first to say first. But that's okay. You did the plugsy thing. Let's see. 4 sobers this weekend. Ooh, heck. Yeah, buddy. Congratulations, man. 4 silvers in a weekend. That's pretty darn good. I haven't seen much silver activity here. Just that one SLQ this year. But it's been a little bit too chilly for me to go out there and do the metal detecting thing. It's a beautiful day today, though. The sun is shining. The skies are blue. The van is cleaned. Life is good. Yeah, man. As you saw this morning, I started the stream a little bit later. Now, rather than being late for my own stream, I just scheduled it for a little bit later time. I had an appointment at 8:30 this morning, and knew that I would not be able to get on live at 9 o'clock, so I scheduled it for 10. The rest of the week, the schedule is normal, 9 a.m. to Wednesday and 7 p.m. Wednesday night and 9 a.m. Friday. But Tommy, how's your DoorDash going? I saw that video you put up with the Mercedes conversion. That, I think that's probably going to be a really nice camper when they get all done with it. The whole hammock idea, I'm not really sure that I'm a hammock guy, unless it's, well, I won't even go there. I'm not really sure I'm a hammock kind of guy. I would rather. Plugs joined. I would rather not. I can't sleep in a hammock. It drives me nuts. Whoa! Good morning, Plugs.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing up there? Freezing in Idaho cold weather?
Idaho. I'm in Oregon.
Oregon, the Oregon cold weather. I don't know why I thought you were. You have that Idaho look. That's what it is.
You just like saying Idaho.
I do. Idaho. Yeah, baby. How you been, man?
Yeah.
What kind of silver did you get?
I'm in front of the hardware store or
Oh
the
my
lumber
gosh.
yard. But I got two Rosies, one Mercury, and a 1951 Canadian silver dime.
Nice.
So it was cool.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
cool.
you know
I
how it
haven't gotten
is.
any. Yeah, those Canadians come out. I get all excited when I see a coin that looks like it's going to be
Oh, me
silver, and then
too.
it's Canadian. And it sticks to the magnet, and then I'm all sad.
Yeah.
How
Well,
far back does it have to go on the Canadian to be silver?
68, 1968.
68.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, cool.
pretty much. You're gonna find more dimes, I think, out here because um, I see people out. I mean, I not necessarily people, but the plugs that people leave. You can see that they've been there during the week and stuff. And I'm hoping that their machines are just, or that they're not going deep, and that's the case. And the bigger the silver is, the easier it is gonna ring up. Even if
Right.
it's a little
Right.
bit deeper. So generally, just finding dimes, but I'm working on
Okay.
getting some permissions. Some permissions.
Yeah.
That's where it's at. But I still like to get out and go detecting, so I go to the parks, and I just been hitting all these other parks. 4 hours. 4 hours. Saturday, I went for about 4 hours. I streamed that morning, and that was just like it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was still good to get out, but I found a wheat penny kind of towards the end, but that was just filled with trash, man. My bag was just stuffed, but whatever.
Yeah.
I won't go back there again. You never know until you try, right?
That's right. That's right. Um,
So,
I've got some parks that I really want to do up north. That I was thinking about last year, but I got so I got so involved with that church property that I never went anywhere else. I mean, I did go to the house there down the road where I had that the big massive coin spill. Um, um, but
thanks so cool.
um, I'm not
Yeah. So like,
sure.
and I'm kind of like the opposite. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. There's got to be a saying or a term or whatever, but it's like I have these places that are pretty good, but I always kind of wait for a rain. I know they're there. These
Yeah,
parks, like I found that one. I mean, this park I found tons of silver out of, and but then I'm like, oh, the grass is greener on the other side, so I go to these other places and they don't pan out, and then I end up going back to this park, and it pans
right.
out. But so, like, kind of like, I don't know, the opposite of what you just stayed at the church,
Yeah.
but I'm a.
Well, I did the church property. I did the property across the street, which is now an open lot, but it had four homes from 1820 to 1850. And that was my toy lot. Nearly everything I dug on that property were toy cars.
Oh,
Um,
that's awesome.
yeah, yeah. And when I left, the last time I dug there, I was still digging toy cars. And then I have a farm property down the road a couple miles. That's like 2,000 acres, and that house was built in 1820, and all I hit were surface targets, but I hit a coin spill that was phenomenal. Mark Davis
Big.
and Squirrel Magnet Fishing. Mark says it's only -4. Well, I tell you what, I'm glad you're there. Holy cow! Um,
Mark's gonna have to get one of those virtual reality video games so he can golf in his house. He can be
yeah,
anywhere in the world and golf.
Mark does in the wintertime. He cuts wood. He cuts
Oh,
and
nice.
splits wood for his heating system.
I would not do that during winter. I would do that during nicer weather.
That's what I said. But he would rather do it in the winter. I suggested he should do that earlier in the spring or the summer, but No, he waits till it's winter time and it's freezing cold, and that's his project for the winter. And due
Hi,
to me
Randy.
being up, hey Randy, due to me being up there and going out with him to metal detect, and the stuff that I found near his home, Mark bought himself a Garrett Ace 400, and went back out to one of those fields and chopped through the frozen ground and found a few items. And now he's dying for the ground to thaw so he can go out and um, so he can go out and find some more treasure. Yeah,
Yeah,
he says
yeah.
I
It's
like to.
something that I was going to do is I've got a few machines, but the cheapest one and like the basicest whatever. Yeah, I got a Garrett. I think it's an Ace 350, and because everybody's always saying, "Oh, dig everything, dig everything, dig everything," and are we just attached by having numbers on our machine? I don't dig
Right,
everything. I really don't.
right,
It just depends. Everybody says, "Oh, I dig everything." No, I doubt anybody really digs everything. But I was going to take
right.
my cheap machine and just kind of haul it with me and
Yep,
square it off like a 10 or 15 foot section and use the cheap machine and go first, and then
right.
go with my Knox next. You know,
Yeah,
just for something to do.
right. Um, I don't.
So that
I
low,
don't. I don't necessarily dig everything, but if it's a repeatable tone, I dig it up no
yeah,
matter what. I'm not looking so much at that VDI number, but rather just is it a repeatable tone? Even if it's grunting, I know it's going to be iron.
yeah,
And especially on these older properties, you want to get that iron out of the ground, get it out of the way. The first year, 2 years ago, on that property, I only found one silver. I got a war nickel, and I dug bunches and bunches of big cast iron and junk. And then this past summer up there, what you guys saw, I had a phenomenal summer. At the end of the season, I was digging much deeper and digging iron again. So I had iron the first trip out, then I had good finds the second, and then at the end of the season I started getting more garbage out, which means hopefully that when I go back up there in the spring, I'll start hitting better tones again by digging
yeah.
a little deeper. We got a few people came in.
See it my way.
See
Hi,
Highway
Shane.
One Spain and
The
uh,
drone bandit.
Felipe uh, and and Randy. Welcome, Randy. Nice to see you guys in here this morning. Um, Mark says there's a lot of very old homesteads up nearby his house, and he's right. That whole area up there is late 1700s, early 1800s is when that area was settled, and there really aren't a lot of metal detectors up there. So uh, pretty much everything you go on is virgin ground. It's highly unlikely it's had any activity. So there's a couple bottle dumps up there I would love to dig into just to see what I could find.
Yeah,
Um, I've been watching these guys, the Crick Diggers, and they're digging out privies in Maryland, and some of the bottles they're pulling out are just phenomenal. Um, uh,
yes. I don't really know anything about bottles. I in my backyard when I first started digging, I'd get a tone and I would dig them up and it ended up being like a cap to a bottle or something
yeah,
close to bottles, and I pulled out a ton of bottles. But I pretty much, it's the Indian head pennies get me excited.
Yeah.
and silver coins. That's
Yeah.
that's my thing. The rest toys are okay. Um, and just about everything else, and maybe
Yeah.
some buttons. But other than that, nothing really gets me.
Yeah.
Nothing flips my switch.
Well, the things that flip my switch right now is large C's, large cents, flying eagle pennies, Indian head pennies, of course,
Oh
silver,
yeah,
any kind of silver. Um, and uh, yeah, that's about it. Barber dimes, barbers. I got 3 barber dimes this last summer, and that was such a joy to find a barber dime. You know, they're just so much cooler than the other ones, and the Rosies or the Mercs. Um,
I'm not being sarcastic in any way, because I don't know, really don't know. But have you found any seeded coins yet?
I have only found one seeded coin, and I found that the year before last in Alabama. I got an 1877 seeded quarter that had been shot with a pistol musket.
Oh
Um,
wow.
and the story is the place I was detecting was a connected to the Underground Railroad, and there was a man shot in the front yard there on his way to escape. He was shot a total of 12 times. He did die, and we suspect that coin was probably in his pocket. Um, so
You got lucky. You got
I
lucky,
got
and he
lucky.
didn't.
Hey, I got a lot luckier than he did. Yeah. Hey, Jim,
Yeah.
welcome to the show.
Hi, Jim
Um,
Steele.
yeah, so I've only had one seed. I didn't get any seeded in New York this year. Uh, I'm hoping for last year. I'm hoping for some seeded this year. I'd love to see some of those Drape Bust coins up there. And it's
Yeah.
old enough for me to find Drape Bust, but I haven't found any yet. Um, but now this is my third year of metal detecting. So in the big picture, I'd say I've done pretty darn good.
Well, how
Um,
many silvers did you how would you say you've
I,
gotten so far?
I got 22 silver coins last summer. Um, and I got 38 Indian head pennies. I got 198 wheat pennies. And the
Wow.
majority of those came off from that one church property.
So I think you said 25 silvers. Is that the amount of silvers that you have total from the day one till now?
No, no, no. Day one till now, I'd say I had 22 last year. Probably 25 or 26 total.
Oh,
My
nice.
first year, I didn't find a lot of silver. Um, I
Yeah, I found
and
about 35 pieces last year. 35
okay,
pieces last year. I'm after 50 this year. I'm up to 6, 7 so far from,
nice.
just this year, but I'm trying to
Yeah,
list that out. And there's a lot of people in my area that detect. A lot of them don't do YouTube,
right.
or social media at all. So, but there's a few that do it, that they'll post every 2 or 3 months. So,
Yeah,
but a couple of them will be like, I don't care where I'm at. It's not like
yeah,
I'm trying to hide my location. So, we'll have people around town that do YouTube, and they're like, "Oh, I was there last summer and I pulled 10 silvers out. Sorry," and I'm like, "Well, that's fine. You missed a
yeah,
couple."
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, Down here, I find it really hard to find silver down here in Florida
Yeah,
because it's the mecca for everybody to come to in the wintertime. And everybody who comes here is picking up a metal detector and trying to find treasure out on the beaches. I'm not much of a beach hunter myself.
I'm not either. I'm not
Um,
either.
I I don't really like the beach personally. It's difficult to walk on the
Yep.
sand. It's hot. You can't get any shade. And on my coast, you can't get in the water with a metal detector. I'm on the Treasure Coast, and it is against the law to get in the water with a metal detector. So what the heck's the point? Um,
Yeah.
so and the only time I really have any interest in the beach is during spring break, because you got all these punk kids out there with mommy or daddy's money, losing their jewelry, and they don't care because mommy and daddy are paying for it, and that's when I want to go to the beach, and for the most part, I'm metal detecting at night, not during the day, because again, it's cooler, and I don't have to worry about the excessive heat.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I've got a I've got a section, and I'm going to do it this coming probably summer, late spring. I'm going to get a wetsuit, but we got a from Carver to Barton. It's two parks, and what they do is there'd be like me and you, um, or a couple people. They'll take two cars. They'll park at Carver, or they'll drop you off at Carver all your gear, and then go to Barton, and it's like 8 or 9 mile of just floating down the river on tubes. Tons and tons
right,
of people. So it's only majority of it's like waist deep, knee deep, maybe up to
right.
your chest deep. So um, I'm not going to use the Knox because I don't trust the water. So I ordered the Legend. Who knows if I'll get that? But I'm going to get another machine, and I'm going to get a wetsuit, and I'm going to float down it. And
Yeah, yeah.
that's because I don't think there's many people getting in the water.
Right, right. And I saw that in Alabama too. There are a couple of old swimming holes that I really wanted to get into, to see what I could find in there. Early 1900s swimming holes.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, yeah. And when I was in Alabama, that was 2 years ago. It was my first year. I had the White's V3i. You can't get that thing wet.
Oh,
So now I've got the Knox 800, and I've got a pulse dive. I've got a wetsuit. I'm working on getting the Blue Nemo. And then
oh, they.
my buddy here in Florida, he owned several dive shops, and used to teach people how to dive and certify and all that. So he's going to build me a couple of weight belts, so that I can get in the water. When I get back north, I have an 1820 railroad station that had a
Yeah.
pier, out onto the lake, and the owners of that property have said if I want to get in the water and metal detect where the old pier was, I'm welcome to do that. Um, so I'm really kind of interested in seeing what kind of coins might be out there. So you know, um, uh, I think this summer is going to be an epic summer. I would like to find 50 Indian head pennies. I'd like to find 300 Wheaties. Um, I've set a goal of 50 silver coins. Um,
Yeah, that's mine too. 50.
yeah, and I've got the properties to potentially be able to pull that off. So but
How
um,
long do you dig, Dennis? When you go, let's say you go out for the day or whatever. How long do you dig? Couple, two
um,
or 3 hours?
depending on how I'm feeling, last year I had days that I only dug for 2 or 3 hours, and I had days that I spent 10 hours at it. You know,
Okay, see, that's what it takes is the time. I mean, I
yeah,
found four silvers. I found four silvers this weekend, but I was digging. My whole weekend was filled with the detector in my hand. You know, so
yeah, Yeah.
That's what
You
it
know,
is.
it's just like when my focus was on fishing. More time you spend fishing, the more you're going to catch. The more time I put into metal detecting, the more stuff I'm going to find. I did a total of 7 months straight, almost every day, out with the detector. Between I did 2 months in Maine and 5 months in New York State, and that's a lot of work.
It
that's
is a
that's a
lot of
lot of
work.
that's a lot of work. Um,
I
you know,
I I have some buddies that they're you know I when we first started going, they would ride with me, and then they figure out we're out 8 or 9 hours, 10 hours at a time. And they're like, "Man, they call me a freak. They call me a freak because they're like, you just want to go all day." And they said, "Well, drive your own car, and you can leave whenever you want." Because you know how it
yeah,
is when you go
yeah,
when you go detecting. Anyways, it's like you're 300 feet away from each other, or it's not like you're even shoulder by shoulder or shoulder to shoulder.
right,
Come on,
right.
people, smash the like. Cynthia's getting
That's
pissed
right.
off.
Cynthia's
Cynthia's going to come in
Cynthia's
here
telling
and,
you, get it going on there.
yeah, she's going to
Um,
open a can of KCMD whoop ass.
uh,
Get him,
I saw
Cynthia.
I saw we had
You too, Tommy.
digging with Deej came in. Nice to see you,
Hi,
Deej.
Dish.
Thanks for coming by. Um, let me just answer this question here real quick. Um, here on the Florida, I live on the Florida East Coast, and on my coast, on the Treasure Coast, you cannot get in the water. It's against the law to get in the water with a metal detector, without having the permits or permissions from the claim owners for those shipwrecks. You can metal detect on the beach on the dry sand from the dune to the low tide mark, but that's it. Um, so in my view of that, if I want to go out treasure hunting, I'm not going to do it here because here you'll go to jail for it. You know, and Tommy's right. It is federally regulated. You don't get a choice. It's a federal offense to get in the water here
Yeah.
with a metal detector. You can't go above your ankles deep, at the low tide mark. There's just
Well, and,
I find it pointless.
well, and for me, all of Multnomah County, which is Portland, the parks they're legal. You could use a shovel. You could just fill your holes. But sometimes I'll do like parking strips, curb strips, and go to these other places, and then I'll end up leaving because I'm not comfortable. I don't
Right,
want one thing I don't want to do is start getting the cops called. Not that I'm even doing anything wrong, but over and over and over and over, and then it's just like, oh,
right,
you're being a nuisance. You know.
right. I've done
So
curb strips down here, um, but I prefer to be on private
Jim
permissions.
says, get some stilts, Dennis. Get some stilts.
So
So you can go in deep.
that's the ticket. I need to get some stills.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
a long
god, that's
scoop
funny.
and a long scoop.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
already run into the hardware store and
All right,
got
man.
some lumber. So I just wanted to say hi and jump on there and wish you well, Dennis.
Thank you, buddy.
That's
I appreciate you
Yep.
coming up today.
Yeah.
Um, it's always you're always welcome on the stream. You've got a lot of good insight, and
Yeah.
and it's nice to see somebody other than just Tommy up here. Although it's also nice. I'm happy to have Tommy up here, but
Yeah.
um,
Next time, Tommy's going to have a gray hat with red, and he's going to have glasses, and he's going to have all this going on, the black
I
sweater.
yeah, yeah.
Mark my words.
He's I want this, but it won't grow. It's almost 2 years since I shaved.
You should go to the costume store and get any design you want. You can get
That's it.
you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, all right, guys. You have
All
a
right.
wonderful day.
Thanks
Bye,
for
Dennis.
coming up.
Bye, Cynthia, Tommy, Jim Steele, and we'll get those stilts.
All right. See you, buddy. There he is, Tommy. Hey, buddy. Hello? Say something. You got no sound. Oh, Tommy's gone. He's got no sound. I see we got a few people. Jim came in. Welcome, Jim.
River Styx joined.
John Long, Silver Rail. Welcome to the show. Happy to have you here. Hey,
close.
Tommy.
He's close.
It's close. Yeah, yeah. You don't have this going on yet.
I don't know that yet. I'm only 55. I haven't shaved in a week. That's it. Seriously.
Oh my God.
I don't. Hey.
Yeah. Well, you got more than I've got. It's been 2 years since I put a razor to this face. It's just smooth. Yep. So, what do you watch today? Are you doing the dinner dash or deal dash or
DoorDash? Yeah. Oh yeah. I made
DoorDash?
$74 and 4.5 hours last night running around on my motorcycle having fun.
Nice. And you must have froze your.
I walk in and they see the bag on my shoulders. You know what I mean? So they know I'm there to do a pickup, and they ask who it's for, and all I do is hold up my phone and it shows them the name of the pickup, and they hand me my order. I leave, and 90% of them you leave them at the door. So I literally don't even have to talk. You could be,
Wow.
you could be mute, and
Yeah. That's great, man.
Well, the best part is, that's my point, is you don't have to deal with anybody.
Yeah.
You just go.
And you're making some good money,
I mean, it might be $15 an hour, $20 an hour. Sometimes you're doing $12 an hour if you're in, because it might be slow.
Right.
But the thing is, you don't have to deal with nobody.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
That's worth
Yeah.
that's 30. The piece of mine's worth $30 an hour alone that I would give up.
Yeah. So now, are you out doing the DoorDash today as well?
I will be. I had to. You can see the bike's off the front. It's in the.
No.
I didn't get home till 10:30 last night.
Wow.
Because it was kind of slow, and then it started picking up later. So I stayed in the dark and the cold, and even a half hour after I got back, I went in the house with Janet and Jeff to get a cup of their coffee because they got the Keurig, and
Yeah.
I didn't have to make any. And even after I'm sitting in there for like 30 minutes, my hands and my knees were still cold from being on the bike.
Absolutely.
They were still like frozen cold, literally.
Yeah. I remember those days riding my bike down here at this time of the year when it notoriously it gets cold every year for 3 or 4 days.
Right.
Winter's tough,
Yeah.
But riding,
Skippy, come here.
if you're riding in the summer, your wind chill factor is you add 15 degrees to whatever the temperature is, and that's what it feels like on your bike. During the summer. In the winter, when it's below 50, you take 15 degrees off from whatever. So if it's 50 degrees out.
No, you can do. I got the conversion chart. 55 mile an hour at 45 degrees is actually it's like standing outside at 17 degrees.
Yeah. Well, it's cold.
Yeah,
that's the point.
For all the negative is on there on the whole chart.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah. I'm thinking. I don't really want to ride in that in this weather. Last I woke up at 3:00 in the morning, and I shut my heater off when I go to bed. I shut my heater off because I don't want it to catch on fire if I'm sleeping, whatever.
Right.
So I shut my heater off. I woke up at 3:00. It was 41 degrees in this van. I would tell you what, I didn't want to get out of bed to pee, but I had to, you know.
Sucks to
Um,
be.
but and I slept really well. It was pretty chilly in here, but under the blankets, it was comfortable.
Right.
It was only when I had to
Yep.
get up that it was a problem.
Right.
So,
Well, I'm gonna let you go.
all right, man. Well, thanks for popping in.
I'm gonna get ready to do my thing and leave out of here in a little bit. I'm out here walking the dogs. Janet and Jeff came home from his grandmother's, and they had plans and all this stuff. And Janet's on the way out with her parents this morning to go to doctors and stuff. And she's like, "Oh, by the way, you can plant those for me, like put them in pots because they're just in bags." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So I did.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's good, man.
So I potted them for her.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna close down here really quick, and thanks for coming up, Tommy. Y'all out there, give me a thumbs up. Let me get the affirmation for today.
And everybody gave you a thumbs up except the drone bandit.
Nice. Affirmation is, I forgive to stop the negative karmatic cycle in my life. Tommy, I'll tell you what. I thank you all for coming in today. I apologize. We were running a little late this morning, but I knew it was going to be late, so I scheduled the stream for a little bit later. It's a beautiful day out there. If you can get out there. Go do something. Felipe says he's all thumbs, and so he gave me 5 thumbs up. I appreciate that, Felipe. You're a good guy. We'll see you all on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. and then again at 7 p.m. The 7 p.m. show is the KCMD, Kicking Cancer Metal Detecting conversation. And then Friday at 9 a.m. again. Have a great day. Enjoy the weather. And we'll see you all again on Wednesday morning. Bye, guys.